This is the first time that Bennett has been in the studio, so first of all, hey, thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you coming in.
Appreciate you having me.
I know it's an onslaught for you guys with Media Day, right? It's like you're getting asked the same question over and over again, so I'm going to ask you one that you probably haven't been asked before.
Okay.
Every time somebody comes in the studio for the first time, and we have a leaderboard, we keep track of who gets the closest here. They have to tell their 2-minute life story.
Wow.
So it's your story. You got 2 minutes to tell it.
You got a timer for me?
I got a timer.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Set. Go.
All right. Born, raised Campbell, California. Went to St. Francis High School. Felt like I was under recruited out of high school. Always played football, played basketball, baseball. Went to Illinois on a last-minute commitment. Played my freshman year there. Did really well. Transferred to a junior college after my sophomore year back home in College of San Mateo. Learned a lot there. Kind of transformed my thinking, my headspace there, and was blessed enough to come to Oregon in 2020. And man, how my life has changed here. Played that first season. COVID season was really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Last season, started to break out of those first 4 games, and then ended up breaking my leg. After the 4th game, right before the Stanford game. And now, this year coming around, feeling like I'm a leader. It's my last year, and this team is looking ready to roll. So I'm real excited to see what's next on the path.
You got another 46 seconds.
Oh, I do. Okay, I thought I was. Pushing time.
You were pretty efficient. That was good.
All right, that's the life story. Part of who I am. I'm outgoing. I'm a real high energy type of guy. Love communicating with people. Love connecting with people. And I feel like that's kind of where I will go after football's over. I think helping people and helping kids kind of realize mentally and physically where they can go. And what they can really do with the power of their mind.
That's awesome. That was very well done. And I was going to ask you as a follow-up, have you always been a good speaker? Have you always liked doing this kind of stuff? Because, look, fans, Bennett's one of the better interviews that you ever hear on the Go Ducks YouTube or anywhere else.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've always been a little bit of a talker. I feel like I have a little bit of charisma about me.
A little,
just a little bit,
just a little,
just
wow.
a tad, a sprinkle. But it is fun to get up here and let that energy kind of come out a little bit, let that light shine. And I love talking. So
you want to switch seats? I mean, you could do my job.
Honestly, that might be the job for me after this is all said and done.
See,
so.
I like this. Well, if you ever want to just fill in for me or Rob on a Quack Minute, you just say the word.
All right.
We're getting the heck out of the way.
One of these times, I'm telling you, I'm gonna come by and steal that microphone from you.
Yeah, you just do the practice report.
Okay.
I mean, because at the end of the day, let's be honest, everybody. Nobody gives a lick what me and Mose think. They want to know what you guys think.
Hey, I watch it. I watch
well,
that stuff all the time, so I love it.
I'm glad. That's helpful for us to know that if we say something stupid, then at practice we hear about it the next day, right? So, hey, I feel like versatility is something that I look at you and many others in the defensive backfield on this team, and it's like, man, there's a lot of versatile athletes. Is that a fair assessment of your group right now?
Absolutely. I would definitely say versatile is a good word. We are cross-trained at every position, like in the backfield now. Coach Lanning is making that emphasis, like, okay, we got to play. I played nickel last year, but I'm, training mostly at boundary safety. I've been taking free safety reps. We go through these these little stations, and I'm playing corner, playing linebacker. So just knowing every position and how the defense all fits together and works together, I think is the main goal of that.
Sure. And
you're getting all type of guys, not just me or versatile guys. I mean, it's everybody to make sure that we're all versatile and able to play all those positions.
You mentioned leadership, and I feel like that's something that's so difficult to quantify sometimes, like what makes a good leader. How do you approach that? Have you actively thought about this is what it means for me to be a leader on this team?
100%. And that's been a lot of my my journey is first figuring out myself and what I'm looking for, and once I am able to kind of get on that right track, then I feel like, and lately it's been like, okay, what can I do to help just somebody, even if it's just one person today, or what type of energy can I bring today? How can I help bring guys along? And it's not always about, being the rah-rah guy or telling guys what to do, as much as the subtle things, the little things, making sure guys feel seen and heard, and feel like they're important. They're an important part of this team.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that I think goes into that. I just started reading this book called The Mindful Athlete, and it is fantastic. You guys should pick up a copy, by the way. But it has so many things inside of it that have helped me develop my leadership and my own mental game to really take it to the next level and help take this team to the next level.
Who do you look up to? Who do you look for examples of great leaders?
The first one that comes to mind is Steph Curry. And he might not be the ideal, leader in some people's eyes, but the way that and we've studied the Warriors a little bit this season, the way that he carries himself, first of all, brings positive energy to every game, every practice, all the time around the organization, is super unselfish. And that's, I think, is the biggest thing, right? That he's not looking – he's a superstar, probably one of the best-known athletes in the world.
Yep.
But is never talking about that. And he's, lately they won the championship. He's given a little. He's gloating a little bit. He did. He earned that. Yeah. But as far as it, comes to bringing, how he comes in, his demeanor every day, it's pretty special. How humble he is and the way he's able to lead.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I have a couple colleagues that have worked with him closely and that have worked with the Warriors, and it's one thing to have that energy publicly. It's another thing to then have it behind closed doors, right? And I think that's a great example. One of the things I wanted to ask you about your journey is when you came back from injury last year, you had to go through the year last year. I remember seeing you on the scooter at practice, and it's injuries are the worst part of sports. But I feel like the most successful athletes, they get something out of an injury like that. I feel like you're the guy that did that.
Oh,
that
man.
You really learned something maybe during that process.
This past year has been the most transformative in my life. Oh, 100%. Going from being that high, like, okay, here we go. This is going to be the season. I'm ready to go to the draft. And now I look, and now I look at it like, oh, that's exactly what I needed. That came at the exact right time. As much as it didn't seem like it, back then, that's exactly what I needed for me to be able to come back this year, and be with this team, this coaching staff, and not even as much that as it is being able to take care of like myself and my mental, because I went through it kind of a lot, right? That's tough. Not being part of the sport, watching it happen, watching my teammates play. That was the biggest thing for me, was able to, like, okay, sit with myself and really go through what I want and how I can, attain it. And coming back, I've come back so much stronger off this injury. And I think, battling through adversity like that really, builds up your character.
You guys are all going through some adversity this year too, and I have to ask you about wearing number 4. I know that must mean a lot to you guys with Spencer, and that's a tragic thing. It doesn't get any worse than that.
Yeah.
How much is that impacting you? How much is that impacting this team now the rest of the season?
Yeah. It's going to be, it's on our minds every day, and in our hearts every day. And I think that's the most important thing. I think, for me, it's going to be special wearing 4. I've always worn it, but this year it's going to mean so much more. And I get to feel like, he's right there with me. The whole time, every, and that's just a reminder, right there. I get to play with him, it feels like. And, I think the whole team can attest to that. There's a different meaning behind it. It's a little more special, knowing especially how he was coming in and coming to really love football in this team. Some part of me just feels like, he's doing it like on purpose, and that might sound, terrible, but he is looking, over us right now. Like, I'm completely with you. This may be what you guys needed. This is the path. And, as much as it hurt us all, and I know he's still there with us.
It's something that unfortunately everybody goes through at some point in their life, and I feel like you talked about how you took the negativity of the injury, and now there's kind of some positives that have come from it. What a great mindset for the entire team. So I think I'll say thanks for being you. Thanks for being a good leader, and best of luck the rest of the season, all right? I'm going to leave you with this and ask you a little bit of a lighthearted question at the end here.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. I always like to ask veterans what advice would they give to, like, the freshmen, the young guys, before they start fall camp. What do they need to know before they start the gauntlet here the next few weeks?
Take your ass, excuse my French, to sleep. Go to bed.
I like that.
Go to bed.
That's perfect.
Man, I remember, and it gets nighttime and you're like, okay, I stay up a little bit. And then that morning comes and it's just like, oh. But you compound that and your body's not going to be recovering the same way. You're not going to be as sharp. You're not going to be wanting and ready to go attack fall camp like you're supposed to every single day. So I'm talking like 10 hours of sleep. Like you should be, we need to be in bed early. And I've been telling them every time before we break it, I'm like, look, go to bed. Go to bed.
Good advice.
Shower and then go to bed.
Good advice. Bennett, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, buddy.
It was awesome.